What's up, guys? Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to the Black Friday special edition episode of Buy Low, Sell High. As always, I just went through every NBA player on the SoRare marketplace to find the best buy low and sell high plays going into game week 10. Before we get started, if you don't have a SoRare account, go ahead and check out my affiliate link in the description below for an exclusive deal so you don't miss out on the fun. Remember that this video is not financial advice. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Now, the first buy low is a player that a lot of people were very excited about his rookie year on the Miami Heat. However, after dealing with injuries and being traded to the Toronto Raptors, a lot of hype around this player really died down. I think this player is a great buy low because right now, nobody is talking about him. He's dirt cheap, and he's putting up some solid performances on limited minutes. And that player is Precious Achiuwa. Precious Achiuwa has a cap of 20 and a floor price just above $3. Like I said in the intro, there is not a lot of Precious hype left after his initial start in Miami. And any possible hype that might have been left over was pretty much killed when he re-injured himself and missed the majority of last season. However, he started off the season healthy and averaging less than 20 minutes per game. He's put up some very solid SoRare performances. Overall, I think Achiuwa is a buy low because people are pricing him like he's a player that barely gets on the court. But if he stays healthy, there will be quite a few opportunity windows for him to get a massive increase in minutes and usage, making him a very optimal play for a SoRare lineup. On top of that, other Raptors big men like Siakam and Boucher are not only a bit injury prone, but are also in trade rumors this early into the season. During the offseason, Siakam complained about not getting an extension from the Raptors. And if the Raptors aren't contenders this first half of the season, it totally makes sense to me that Siakam gets traded to a contender and a player like Precious picks up a bunch of minutes and usage. Overall, with a price of $3, I just think there is so much upside for Precious, and you are taking a pretty limited risk scooping up a couple of his cards. Now, the next buy low is a player who I think is one of the best two-way guards in the NBA currently. However, because he's on such a loaded team, I think he might be one of the more underrated players in the NBA right now, and I think his price on the marketplace really reflects that. And that player is Derek White. Derek White has a cap of 30 and a floor price below $7. Now, if you've watched this channel or followed me on Twitter for the last couple of years, then you'll know that for a while, I thought Jrue Holiday is one of the most underrated players in NBA history. But while he was being traded around and eventually ended up on the Celtics, I really think he lost that title. It seems a lot of people started to realize that not only is he arguably the best perimeter defender in the NBA, but is really a key piece to any team that is trying to win a championship. Now, the reason I bring up Jrue Holiday is because his floor price is sitting at about $11. However, for half of that, you can get Derek White, who I think is now the most underrated guard in the NBA. Derek White is very similar to Jrue Holiday in the sense that he is going to get you points on both sides of the court. Not only does he rack up blocks and steals every game, which, as you know, are super important on SoRare, but he's also totally capable of getting red hot and dropping 30 points, 8 boards, and 8 assists. Now, like I said in the intro, Derek White right now is a bit limited because he's on such a stacked team. He's playing with Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, and Jrue Holiday. As a result, he won't be typically getting these shots or touches that he was getting last year. But the reason I like Derek White so much is because I think he is in the ideal situation for SoRare purposes. Derek White already showed us last year that he has insane ceiling capability. And there will be windows of opportunity this season where players like Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis are sitting because of rest or injuries. So right now, while all those guys are healthy and playing, we're probably going to see Derek White's cap start to trend downwards. And then when one or two of those guys miss a game week, Derek White will be in the optimal position to far exceed his lower cap. Personally, I think Derek White is the special edition Black Friday buy low lock. It's a purchase that won't necessarily pay off immediately, but it will 1000% have windows where you can take very solid profits or have optimal lineups and have a real leg up on the competition. Now, our final buy low is a player who was undoubtedly the best backup point guard in the NBA last year. His floor price last year was consistently above $15 because he was consistently one of the most optimal plays throughout the season. Now his floor price has dropped pretty significantly as he has struggled with his new team, which I think is a golden opportunity for a buy low, and that player is Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones is a cap of 21 and a floor price just below $7. And like I said, last year Tyus Jones was such a great SoRare card to have. Whenever he was playing backup point guard, his cap would consistently drop below 20. Then, because of injuries or rest, Tyus Jones would be starting for the Grizzlies for given SoRare weeks. And almost every time, he would deliver a SoRare score that far exceeded his cap. Now, Tyus Jones is starting on the Washington Wizards. However, he's playing with two massive ball hogs in Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma. As a result, when you watch a Wizards game, you're probably going to see Tyus Jones standing around instead of running the offense like he has in the past. It's painfully clear when looking at his stats that even though his minutes per game are the highest they've ever been, the rest of his numbers are down. However, there is one stat that hasn't gotten worse, and that is Tyus Jones' turnovers per game. During his time on the Grizzlies, Tyus Jones developed a reputation as a player that took care of the ball and made the right decisions. And despite his SoRare scores suffering because of his new team, I think he is still that player. The reason I think Tyus Jones is a buy low is because I'm assuming that he is going to get traded before the trade deadline. There are plenty of teams in the NBA right now who see themselves as real contenders and still need a real point guard, such as the Miami Heat, who did not get Damian Lillard. Personally, I'm scooping up a Tyus Jones as a buy low, betting on the fact that he will get traded and suddenly be in an ideal situation for SoRare. On top of that, if he is traded, his SoRare cap should be a bit suppressed because of his current performances, making him an incredibly optimal play for the first couple of game weeks after the trade. At the end of the day, when you compare his floor prices and performances from last year, I think scooping him up at a fraction of that, expecting those performances to come back as the season continues, and especially if he's traded, is a very sharp move. All right, moving on to our sell highs. The first player I want to talk about is a player who has been in a multitude of trade rumors for the last couple of years. He's a young player who has shown some incredible potential early in his career. However, it seems his team is almost playing better when he's sitting on the bench injured. And that player is Tyler Herro. Tyler Herro has a cap of 36 and a floor price just above $14. Now, to start the season off, Tyler Herro has been red hot, dropping high score performances on SoRare every game week until he was recently injured. While I don't think he was playing at an all-NBA level like he says he was, I think it's clear that Tyler Herro has taken the next step and continued to evolve as a player. So if I'm saying all these good things about Tyler Herro and I think he's a good player, why do I have him as a sell high? That is because currently Tyler Herro is out with a serious ankle sprain. While it is totally possible that he comes back within the next week or two, there is no definitive timeline on his return. I don't think Tyler Herro is a sell high because of his performance or even because of his injury. However, I think this injury gives you an awesome opportunity to sell the hype. During this injury, SoRare has stopped minting Herro's cards. As a result, I think the demand will outweigh the supply when he comes back to play, giving you a great opportunity to sell at the top before he dips down a bit as SoRare begins to resume minting. Now, I will say I think this is a bit of a riskier play because if Herro comes back and picks up right where he left off, you probably aren't able to buy that Herro back for what you paid. However, considering you can basically get all three of our buy lows for the price of Tyler Herro, I think it's a risk worth taking. Personally, if I had a Herro card, I would go ahead and sell the news of his return and then use that money to buy 2 or 3 Derek Whites. Now, the next sell low is a player that I almost put in several of my previous videos, and after the absolute bombshell we got today, I really wish I put him in that video, and that player is Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey has a cap of 26 and a floor price of $7.50. However, by the time I post this video, it might be significantly lower. Now, if you spent your Thanksgiving cooking, spending time with your family, or watching football, then you might have not seen the crazy news about Josh Giddey. At the time I'm filming this video, there have been allegations that Josh Giddey has had relationships with a girl under 18. And if those allegations are true, we might be seeing Josh Giddey getting traded to the Charlotte Hornets. However, if these allegations turn out to be fake and Josh Giddey's floor price rebounds, I still think he is a sell high. Now that we've addressed the very serious allegations against Josh Giddey, I'm only going to talk about the basketball side of things. And look, Josh Giddey is very good at basketball and was a very solid SoRare play last year. So you would think he'd be an even better player this year. However, the Oklahoma City Thunder are suffering from their own success. Their team is just absolutely stacked with young talent. And with the superstar in SGA, who is currently in MVP talks, a player who was the runner-up for Rookie of the Year last year in Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren, who, as of filming this right now, is currently the favorite to win Rookie of the Year over Wemby. There are just so many talented players looking to get their touches and their shots. And unfortunately, it seems like Josh Giddey has suffered the most from this. While he's putting up relatively solid SoRare scores, it seems his ceiling is basically gone. Now, it is possible with injuries or players resting that there are some opportunity windows for Josh Giddey, but I think this team is just way too deep, and he is not one of the feature players on it anymore. Now, when I wrote the script for this video before the allegations, Josh Giddey's floor price was at $20. So if these allegations do end up being false, it seems pretty reasonable that Josh Giddey's floor will rebound. Once again, I want to make it very clear that I'm not trying to brush away the allegations or say that they're fake or that they're true or anything like that. However, these videos are about analyzing the market and talking about basketball. So from a pure basketball perspective, I think Josh Giddey is a sell high. Moving on to our final sell high, we have a player who was a #1 draft pick and has shown some pretty incredible potential. However, I think it is safe to say that so far this season, he has mostly underperformed and not met expectations. And that player is Cade Cunningham. Cade has a cap of 32 and a floor price just below $30. Now, I want to start this off by saying that I think Cade is a very good basketball player and has a very bright future ahead of him. And while he started off the season pretty lackluster, I don't even know if we can blame Cade for that necessarily. During the offseason, the Pistons hired Monty Williams to help develop their young players and develop a team culture and identity. Now, during his last coaching job with the Suns, it was no secret that him and DeAndre Ayton did not get along. Just like Cade, Ayton was a #1 draft pick, but at the time, everyone blamed Ayton. Monty Williams was coming off winning Coach of the Year the previous season and could do no wrong according to most NBA fans. However, since coming to the Pistons, Monty Williams has already imprisoned their youngest prospect, Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey was a starter last year and showed a lot of potential. But Monty Williams is choosing to play Killian Hayes, of all people, above Jaden Ivey, despite the fact that Jaden Ivey's development should clearly be prioritized over Killian Hayes, especially when the Detroit Pistons are the worst team in the NBA. It is looking more and more likely that Adam Silver is going to be sending the NBA's version of SEAL Team 6 into Monty Williams' house to take away that Coach of the Year award. When it comes down to it, it just seems like Monty Williams is not on the same page as a lot of these younger players on the Pistons. And considering Cade is one of those younger players, how long is it before Monty Williams starts sabotaging him as well? Ultimately, the whole Monty Williams situation is weird, and I don't really want to deal with it. That, combined with Cade's mediocre and somewhat disappointing start to the season, is enough for me to sell high. $30 can buy you quite a few cards on the marketplace, and at this point, I don't want it tied up in Cade. And there we have it, another 3 buy low and 3 sell high candidates. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and smash that like button on this video and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Also, leave a comment and let me know what you think about my picks. Do you agree? Disagree? Do you think you have better picks? Let's talk about it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Please clap.